Hey, what's up guys? It's Lance Thompson TV and I'm here to give you another movie review. Today, I just got back from seeing Paper Towns, which is a film that I was really much anticipating because I had read the book. I'm an extremely big fan of this book and I'm an extremely big fan of John Green. I really thought it was a great coming-of-age tale about a boy just trying to find the love of his life who just recently went missing. I was really skeptical going into this film because I really wanted it to be as good as the book, in my opinion. And after seeing it, I have some things to talk about. The film was directed by Robot and Frank director Jake Schreier. While I did not see Robot and Frank, I did hear that it got some pretty good positive responses at Sundance and it had some pretty good, decent outcomes in reception. That being said, when I first heard that he was going to direct the Paper Towns movie, I didn't really know what to expect. I really want to talk about some of the performances in this movie, particularly Cara Delevingne. She is a phenomenal model. I think she's beautiful. I think she's everything. I don't know, she's great. Her performance in this movie is actually pretty solid. And that's pretty surprising because I never really heard of a model turned actress that actually did a decent job. I really bought her as Margot Ross Spiegelman, who is the girl that Quentin Jacobson falls for. Now, Quentin Jacobson, played by Nat Wolff, I thought he was pretty solid. I've been seeing him in a lot of other films. Like, I remember a film that came out, I believe, 2 years ago, or a year or so ago. It was called Palo Alto. And I thought he really did a good job on that. I really liked his performance. It was very indie. It was very, down to earth. You know what I mean? I really like his down-to-earth approach when it comes to acting. And in this film, you kind of see a little bit of that. He really plays the character of Quentin Jacobson well. That being said, I think the chemistry between Nat Wolff and Cara Delevingne was actually pretty solid. There was times in which I felt that maybe they needed a little bit more screen time together, to really establish the relationship between Margot Ross Spiegelman and Quentin. But I didn't really mind the approach that Jake Schreier took to the direction of this movie. Sure, he did leave some things out, not to spoil anything, but I feel like it didn't really hurt the film that much. I do have some minor flaws, things that were in the book that they had left out in the actual film. Some things could have been left in. For example, I think some perspectives have been changed. The protagonist of the film, he shares a different perspective in the book than he does in the actual movie. And that shouldn't really mean too much to people who have not read the book, so I don't really think that's much of a spoiler. However, it does really change the film as a whole in which you're talking about it and comparing it to the book. It does share a lot of aspects with its source material. At one point in the movie, I really was seeing a lot of scenes in which I had envisioned in my head while reading this book. And that's not really what I can say about a lot of movies, even though I don't read a lot of the source material for movies that I do go see. It's still pretty interesting to see that, oh, this is exactly what I saw. This is exactly what I had saw when I was reading this book about a year ago. Me personally, I preferred what happened in the book, what Quentin was thinking, what was going through his head in the book, rather than what was happening in the movie. However, I don't think that was too big of an issue. I really thought the chemistry between Quentin, Radar, and Ben was pretty cool. I really found myself laughing a lot during the movie because of the jokes that Ben in particular would do. I am not too familiar with the actors that were in this movie because most of them, I believe, are first-time actors, and that was pretty cool. And see a lot of fresh faces in the movie. I actually thought all the actors did a decent job for the type of film that this was supposed to be. I was kind of on the fence when I first saw the ending to this movie, but then after thinking of it, after that long train ride home, I was just thinking, oh, well, you know what, maybe it's better that it happened this way. Contrary to popular opinion, what happened in the ending of the book was not people's favorites. People didn't really like how it ended. People thought that it just left there and you really was left hanging. I really liked it because it was just like, oh, okay, it leaves it to the reader's imagination. I can understand why some viewers may be a little bit on the fence when they watch this movie because they really don't know what to think about it, even if they haven't read the book or have read the book. I still think that it was a decent movie to watch and it was a good coming-of-age tale. I did think that some of the character development could have been a little bit better. There was times where it was kind of stale. Some characters were just thrown in there. Even though they were in the book, I didn't really think they were introduced all too well. Maybe they could have put a little bit more effort into it. But that being said, Cara Delevingne, I really am excited to see what she pulls off in Suicide Squad coming out in a few years from now, or not a few years from now, later on this year, excuse me. I don't know why I said a few years from now. Nat Wolff was good, and I can't wait for Looking for Alaska, which is John Green's next novel turned into a movie. If I had to give a rating out of 10, I guess you could say I would give it a 7.25, because even though I enjoyed it, I still felt that there was room for improvement. Some things could have been added, some things could have been left out. However, I thought that it was altogether a solid coming-of-age film. It's also not really that hard to fall in love with Cara Delevingne. So yeah, there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys come back next time, and this has been Lance Thompson TV, and I'll talk to you guys later.